What's up, everybody? And welcome to another edition of High Mythology.
Hi.
Hi. The show where we get higher than Otakamaru's taint and we tell you guys silly stories from mythology and folklore. Tonight, we will be bringing you the story of the three terrible yokai.
Well, it's not really a story, but...
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, yeah, we'll be talking about the three terrible yokai from Japanese mythology.
And one vengeful ghost.
And one vengeful ghost as well. Don't leave out the ghost. That would be why he's so vengeful. Stop forgetting about me.
Actually, that's not why, but...
That's not why.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we kind of felt the need to jump into this one after that big rock broke in Japan. Don't know if any of you guys heard about that, but we'll talk about what the rock was.
Yeah.
With one of our yokai.
It is indeed the first one that we're going to talk about. Yeah.
So yeah, without further ado, Kimbo, go ahead and take her away.
All right, thank you. So that rock held Tamama no Me.
Tomato no main.
Tamamo
no main.
Which means Lady Duckweed.
Lady Dickweed.
Quack.
Yeah.
She is one of the most famous kitsunes in Japanese mythologies. She is a nine-tailed magical fox. She's also
magical fox demon lady.
One of the most powerful yokai that had ever lived. And her magical abilities were matched only by her trickiness and her lust for power.
So tricky.
Tamama no Me lived during the Heian period. And though she may not have succeeded in her plan to kill the emperor and take his place, her actions disabled the country and led it towards one of the most important civil wars in Japanese history. And for that reason, Tamama no Me was considered one of the Nihosan Dai Aku Yokai. The three terrible yokai.
The three terrible yokai. Hey, that's the name of the episode.
Of Japan, alongside, which we will get to, Shuten Doji and Otakamaru. So her myths and legend. Tamama no Me was born about some 3,500 years ago in what is now China.
Oh.
Her early life is a mystery, but she eventually became a powerful sorceress. After hundreds of more years, she became a white-faced, golden-furred Kyobi no Kitsune. A nine-tailed fox with supreme magical power.
I like how they just say that just like it's expected. Like, that's a normal thing that happens. Yeah, no, after a few years, she just kind of turned into this fox thing.
I know, right? She was once human, I swear.
We're not going to elaborate? No, it's just, shit happens.
Right.
One day you're not a fox. One day you're a fox.
It just happens.
It just happens.
In addition, she was an expert at manipulation. She used her charms and her wit to advance her standing and influence world affairs. During the Daji in Shang Dynasty, China. During the Shang Dynasty, Tamama no Me was known as Daji. D-A-J-I. Daji.
Daji.
She disguised herself as a beautiful woman and became the favorite concubine of King Zhou of Shang. Daji was a model of human depravity, and she held orgies in the palace gardens.
I don't know if we'd call her a model of human depravity just because she's got some orgies going on.
Her fondness for watching and inventing new forms of torture are legendary.
Okay, that's a good reason to call it. Orgies? Yeah, orgies aren't so bad. Torture orgies. Ooh.
Daji eventually brought about the fall of the entire Shang dynasty.
Yeah,
and then she managed to escape her execution and fled to Magadha Kingdom in India in 1046 BC.
BC? Yeah. I do feel like looking at the difference between history and mythology, as I feel like the historical basis of this is a lot of scapegoating.
Yep.
The emperor's like, it was her fault. She's a fox demon.
She's a chick
thing. When did she turn into a fox demon? I don't know. It just happens, It happens to everybody.
After some 100 years,
Yeah.
just boom.
Boom, you're fox.
I'm a fox now. Okay, so in Magdaha, she was known as Lady Kyo.
Kyo.
Kyo?
Kyo.
Kyo?
Kyo.
I don't know.
Kyo.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And became the consort of King... Fuck me. Kalmashapada.
Kalamashappada.
Kalmashapada.
Kalamada.
Known in Japan as Hanzoku.
It's so much easier. Thank you, Japan.
She used her beauty and her charms to dominate the king, causing him to devour children, murder priests, and commit other unspeakable horrors.
Again, it sounds like scapegoating.
Eventually, whether because she ran out of children to eat or because Kalapashampa began to turn away from her and towards Buddhism, she fled back to China.
Kalapachapatapa. Again, that's another one where I feel like it probably wasn't even the same lady. It was just his excuse. Have you been eating children and priests and you expect us to let you to convert to Buddhism? Yeah, it's the girl. She made me do it. She's a nine-tailed fox demon? Oh, we've heard of that before.
Yeah.
Back in the Shang Dynasty. Yeah, no, same one. Totally same one. That has to be what it is.
Ooh, during the Zhou Dynasty, she called herself Baosi and was known as one of the most desirable women in all of China. In 779 BCE, she became the concubine to King Yu.
Who?
King Yu.
You?
King Yu.
Not me.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, you.
Not satisfied as just a mistress, she manipulated the king into disposing of his wife, Queen Shen, and making Baosi his new queen. Though she was beautiful, Baosi rarely ever smiled. In order to please his beautiful new wife, King Yu committed acts of such evil and atrocity that eventually all of his nobles abandoned and betrayed him.
Dude, you're into some fucked up shit. You know you're into bad shit when you're the king and people are still abandoning you.
Right.
Yeah.
Eventually, King Yu was killed and Baosi captured, and the Western Zhou dynasty was brought to an end in 771 BCE.
BC?
Somehow, Baosi managed to escape again, and she went into hiding for many years. Little is known of her activities until the 700s, when she resurfaced and disguised as a 16-year-old girl named Wakamo.
Oh, no.
She tricked the leaders of the 10th Japanese envoy to the Tang dynasty, Kibi no Makibi, Ape no Nakamaru, and Ganjin. Ganjin. As they were preparing to return home to Japan, Wakamo joined their crew and took to the ships in Japan, where she hid herself away for over 300 years.
Jesus.
In 1090s.
How did she hide on a ship for 300 years?
She hid herself away, man.
She just hid.
Somewhere.
It
got dropped off on an island, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I could see hiding on an island, but hiding on a ship? That ship's not even going to be around for 350 years.
Yeah. That's all it is. Don't judge me, man. I don't fucking know.
Don't judge me.
In the 1090s, she resurfaced again. This time, she transformed herself into a human baby and hid by the side of the road. A married couple found the baby and rescued it, taking her in as their daughter and naming her Mikuzumi. Yeah. She proved to be an exceedingly intelligent and talented young girl, and was so beautiful that she attracted the attention of everyone around her. When she was 7 years old, Mikuzume recited poetry before the emperor. His Imperial Majesty immediately took a liking to her and employed her as a servant in his court.
Weirdo.
Mikuzumi excelled at court, absorbing knowledge like a sponge. There was no question that she could not answer, whether it was about music, history, astronomy, religion, or Chinese classics.
She got to be a fox demon.
Mm-hmm. Her clothes were always clean and unwrinkled, and she always smelled pleasant. Mikuzumi had the most beautiful face in all of Japan, and everyone who saw her loved her. During the summer of her 18th year, a poetry and instrumental recital was held in Mikuzumi's honor. During the recital, an unexpected storm fell upon the palace.
Oh no!
All of the candles in the recital room were snuffed, leaving the participants in the dark. Darkness. Suddenly, a bright light
So you think the darkness is your ally?
A bright light emanated from Mikuzumi's body, illuminating the room.
Oh, she's glowing.
She's a fucking light bulb.
She's a light bulb. She must be a fox demon.
Everybody at court was so impressed by her genius and declared her that she must have had an exceedingly good and holy previous life. She was given the name Tamama no Me.
Tamama no Me.
Emperor
Tomato mayonnaise.
Emperor Toba, already exceedingly fond of her, made her his consort. Mm-hmm. Almost immediately after she became the emperor's consort, the emperor fell deathly ill. None of the court physicians could determine the cause, and so the...
This poor innocent girl is going to get killed and accused of being a fox.
I know. So the Anmyoji Abe no Yasunari was called in.
That's the Obonaro Yashurinari.
The Abe no Yasunari
Avada no Shamanari
read the emperor's fortune and divined that he was marked by a bad omen.
That's a bad omen over there.
After that, the highest priests and monks were summoned to the palace to pray for the emperor's health. The best prayers of the highest priest had no effect. However, the emperor continued to grow worse.
He's so sick.
Abeno Yasunari.
Abanono Tsunami
was summoned again to read the emperor's fortune. This time, to his horror, the dude discovered... I don't want to say it again.
He's like, bro.
You can't say it, I'm sorry. Discovered that the emperor's beloved Tamamo no Me was the cause of his illness.
She was be a fox
kitsune
demon.
in disguise.
Poor normal girl.
And that was shortening the emperor's lifespan in order to take over as ruler of Japan. Emperor Toba was reluctant to believe the diviner's words, but agreed to Tamamo
no Me.
Thank you. Just to be sure.
Just to be sure. We're just going to need you to prove you're not a nine-tailed fox demon. Can you do that?
To save the emperor's life, that dude prepared the Taizen Fuku no Sai, the most secret and most powerful spell known to the dudes.
Dudes. We are the dudes of magic.
Tamamo no Me was ordered to perform part of the ritual. They reasoned that an evil spirit would not be able to participate in such a holy ritual. Though she was reluctant to participate, the emperor's ministers persuaded her. They told her that it would increase her standing and admiration amongst the court. She had little choice but to accept.
Yeah, no, you've pretty much got to do this, and we're just going to murder you thinking you're a fox demon.
When the ritual was performed, Tamamo no Me dressed even more beautifully than normal. She recited the holy words as expected and played her part extremely well. But just as she prepared to wave the ceremonial staff, she vanished.
Poof.
Poof. The dude's divination was confirmed.
Bro!
The court flew into an uproar. Soon after, word arrived that women and children were disappearing near Nasun in Shimotsuki
Shimotsuki
province. The court sorcerers determined that Tamama no Me was the cause, and then it was decided that she must be destroyed once and for all.
Sounds like they blame everything on that fox team.
For real.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had diarrhea the last 3 days. Tamamo no me. Yeah.
I got cut by this cat. It was really Tamama no Me.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Tamamo no me. It was a 9-tailed fox. My ex-wife was a 9-tailed fox. That's why I was allowed to divorce her.
The emperor summoned the best warriors in all the land and then charged the most superb of them, Dude 1 and Dude 2. Okay, I'll try it. Kazu Sanosuke and Minaranusuke.
Boom, boom.
To find Tamama no Me. The warriors gladly accepted the honor. They purified themselves and set out with an army of 80,000 men to slay the 9-tailed fox kitsune. Upon reaching Nasuno, the army quickly found the kitsune. The warriors chased her for days and days, but the fox used her magical powers and outsmarted them time and time again.
Maybe because she's just moving on her own and they're moving with 80,000 people.
Right.
There she is up on that hill. Should we send someone to just run after her? No, let's break down camp and get a march on. We've got to be out of here in about an hour. We're going to catch her.
The army grew weary and frustration set in. It seemed that nothing they did was working. However, Kazusa-no-suke and Minoru-no-suke would not accept the shame of defeat and vowed to press on. They practiced harder, honing their tactics, and eventually picked up the kitsune's trail again.
Check out my tactics. They're so honed right now.
I know, right? Hey. It's sharp. It's very sharp.
Sharp tactics.
One night, Minoru-no-suke had a prophetic dream.
Maybe I should just go up there and get her myself and not take all these 80,000 guys.
A beautiful young woman appeared before him crying. She begged,
hey.
"Tomorrow I will lose my life to you. Please save me." Mitsuru-no-suke admittedly refused, and upon waking, the warriors set out again to find Tamama no Me. Sure enough, the next day they caught her. Minoru-no-suke fired 2 arrows, one through the fox's flank and one through its neck. Kazusa-no-suke swung his blade, and then it was over, just as the dream had said.
Chow! I like how she even came begging for her life. Starting to feel like this is some serious victim shaming.
For real.
Please don't kill me, I'm just a little girl. Shut up, fox demon. I don't trust you.
However, Tamama no Me's evil did not end with her death. 1 year after she died, Emperor Kono died. Heirless.
Uh-oh. Bum, bum, bum.
The following year, her lover and former Emperor Toba died as well. A succession crisis ignited between forces loyal to the Emperor Shirakawa, and forces loyal to the Emperor Sutoku. This crisis started the Fujiwara-Minamoto rivalry that led to the Genpei War and the end of the Heian period.
That's some history.
And the rise of the first shoguns.
Shoguns and shit, yeah, that's some samurai history.
As if that were not enough.
We're not enough.
Tamama no Me's spirit haunted a massive boulder which killed every living thing that ever touched it.
Yes, the murder
that
rock.
Is the rock that cracked.
Yeah, it was holding your spirit, and it just recently cracked in half.
And then we will be getting into Emperor Sutoku, because that is our vengeful ghost, by the way.
Oh, don't forget about the vengeful ghost.
Along with Emperor Go-Shirakawa.
Go-Shirakawa, go.
But anyway, we're moving on.
Moving on.
Number 2 of our terrible yokais.
Dun, 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 dun.
Shotendoji. Meaning a little drunkard.
Woo!
He was the king of the Oni and local tyrant from Mount Oyama before he was slain by Minamoto no Yorimitsu.
Yeah, I've seen this guy before.
You should. He's based off your fucking Tekken game.
Yeah, Yoshimitsu.
Anyway.
Tekken Yoshimitsu. Yeah.
Well, no, not that guy, but
Or is it that? What's the other game? Soul Calibur Yoshimitsu. That's the one.
I think it's that one. Anyway.
One of the Yoshimitsus.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so his birth. Shoten Joji was not born in Oni. There are many stories about how he came to be, but most of them say that he was originally a human boy who was born over 1,000 years ago, either in present-day Shinga or Toyama.
Shinga or Toyama.
His mother was a human woman, and his father was the great dragon, Yamato no Orichi.
So
those who like fucking Okami, boom, that fucking 8-headed damn dragon. How
bet all the other kids made fun of him. Your mom fucked a dragon.
What the fuck? Okay. So how he changed from boy to demon varies greatly from story to story. But the one popular version goes like this. There was a young boy. He was supernaturally strong and abnormally intelligent for his age. He must be an Oni.
He must be an Oni. He must be a nine-tailed fox demon.
Actually, nine-tails can only be female.
Yeah, exactly. Never trust those wily women folk.
At least I've never heard a story where it's
nine-tailed fox, dude.
It's interesting, actually.
Sup?
Although that doesn't stop the Japanese from drawing them.
It's the 9-penised fox.
I'm sure they got one out there.
Yeah.
What are they called? Hentai?
Hentai.
Yeah, shit. I'm sure it's out there.
Octopenis fox.
Everyone around him constantly called him a demon child due to his incredible strength and wit. And he gradually became terribly antisocial and resentful of others.
I would too if everyone called me a demon child.
At age 6, even his own mother abandoned him.
Jesus.
Orphaned, he became an apprentice priest at Mount Hiei in Kyoto.
Yay!
Naturally, he was the strongest and smartest of all the acolytes. Acolytes.
All the acrylics. He was smarter than any of the other paints around.
Ooh, so many colors.
So many colors.
As he grew resentful of them as well. He slacked off on his duties, and as a result, he got into fights. He also fell into drinking, which was forbidden to the monks.
Uh-oh.
However, he could outdrink anyone and everyone who was willing to sit down and drink against him. Because of his fondness for alcohol, he became known as Shoten Joji, the Little Drunkard.
Little Drunkard!
The transformation. One night, there was a festival at the temple, and Shoten Joji showed up very drunk. He put on an Oni mask and went around playing pranks on his fellow priests.
I bet if I put on this mask, they won't notice how drunk I am. You're not wearing pants.
We could see you, dude. We all had to get it cut.
Boogity boogity boo.
He was jumping out from the darkness to scare them and such.
Boo.
And at the end of the night, he tried to take off his mask, but found that he couldn't.
Oh, no.
To his horror, it had fused to his body.
Oh, no. It's a sticky mask.
Ashamed, scared, and scolded by his masters for being drunk, he fled into the mountains where he could no longer have to interact with other humans, whom he saw as weak, foolish, and hypocritical.
Hypocritical.
He lived there on the outskirts of Kyoto for many years, stealing food and alcohol from villagers and drinking vast quantities of alcohol. Don't know how he found it, made it, but
just
he got it.
I got a moonshine still set up.
His banditry eventually attracted groups of thieves and criminals who stuck with him loyally and became the foundation of his gang. The King of Demons.
The King of Demons.
Living in exile, Shoten Joji grew into power and knowledge. He mastered strange dark magic and taught it to his thugs. He met another demon child like him named Baraki Doji,
Did your mom fuck a dragon too?
who became his chief servant. Over time, the young man and his gang gradually transformed into Oni, and eventually had a whole clan of Oni and Yokai thugs who prowled the highways, terrorizing the people of Kyoto in a drunken rage.
Uh-oh.
He and his gang eventually settled in Mount Oi, where, in a dark castle, he plotted to conquer the capital and rule as emperor.
Damn, he's going hard.
Shoten Joji and his gang rampaged through Kyoto, capturing noble virgins, drinking their blood, and eating their organs raw.
Jesus, he took a hardcore turn there. He went from tomfoolery to cannibalism real quick. He used to give people wedgies. Oh, and he would also drain the blood from virgins and eat their organs.
This is true.
He's a real joker, that guy.
Finally, a band of heroes led by the legendary warrior Minamoto no Yorimitsu assaulted Shoten Joji's palace, and with the help of some magical poison, were able to assault the Oni band during a bout of heavy drinking.
Yeah.
They cut off the drunken Shoten Joji's head, but even after cutting it off, the head continued to bite at Minamoto Yorimitsu. Because the head belonged to an Oni and it was unholy, it was buried outside the city limits at a mountain pass called Onisaka. The cup and the bottle of poison that Minamoto no Yorimitsu used are said to be kept in the Nariai-ji temple in Kyoto.
Ah. So if you go digging around, you might find his head still chomping.
Under the ground, yeah.
Under the ground. Give me beer! Yeah, there was the Minamoto. Wasn't that the same guy that fucked up the fox demon?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Minamoto's just cleaning up out here. You got a yokai problem? Call Minamoto Yoshaki. 855-431-2595.
I accept carrier pigeons.
I accept carrier pigeons. Send a pigeon my way. Pigeon within the next 20 minutes to get a discount on your next Oni removal.
All right, on to number 3.
Dun, 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 dun.
Otokimaru. Meaning the Great Mountain Peak.
The Great Mountain Peak.
He is a Kishin.
Ah, Kaijin.
Thank you.
Kaiju?
An Oni is so powerful and so violent that he is considered both a demon and a god. The demon, Kai. The god, Jin. Kaijin.
I see now.
He lived in the Suzuka Mountains on the border of Izzle.
Izzle?
Izzle. And
on the border of Izzle and Shizzle.
Izzle and Ami provinces during the reign of Emperor Kanmu, which is about 781 to 806. Although his legend is not as well known today, he was once considered amongst the most fearsome yokai in Japanese history.
He's scary.
Along with those other 2 bitches, he is part of the Nihon Sandai Yoki, the great 3 yokais of Japan, not to be confused with the separate rankings which ranks Oni, Tengu, and Kappa as Niho Sanji Yokai, or with the Nihon Sandai Yokai, a similar and more recent popularizing ranking which swaps Tsutoku Tenno for Otakimaru. Whatever the fuck that means.
Okay, that made sense. I'm picking up what you're putting down, I think. Woo!
Get so much fucking cedar out.
Get some.
Sorry.
Yeah, get some.
I've been holding that one in for a while. Long ago, an Onye named Otakimaru terrorized travelers in the Suzuka Mountains and stole tributes intended for the emperor in Kyoto. The emperor commanded his shoguns, Sakano no Tamuramo, To exterminate the demon.
Really fell apart on that last one.
Tamaramaru.
Tamaramaru.
Oh, look at this fucking word, man. Tamaramaru.
Tomorrow.
Raised an army of 30,000 horsemen and entered Suzuka Mountains. However, Otakimaru was so powerful that using his black magic, he summoned a great storm and he covered the mountains in a black cloud, making it impossible to see. Rains and winds battered the army. Lightning crashed and fire rained down from the skies onto the army.
Jesus, that's not any normal storm.
For 7 long years, Tamamama and his men roamed the mountains in search of Otokimaru, but they could not catch him. I wonder why.
That's a long time to be in the...
For real.
Can we go home? We're literally like 10 miles from home. Nope. 7 years we'll stay up here.
I don't know how they were able to hunt and fucking do this at the same time. 7 years, the animals would have moved.
Yeah, they've been just following the animals around the mountain.
The Suzuka Mountains were home to the Tenyo. A beautiful goddess named Suzuka Gozen.
Oh, a Tenyo.
Tenyo. When Otakimaru saw her, he was enchanted by her beauty and became determined to spend the night with her. Yeah, in good company.
I want to have a sleepover.
He transformed himself into a beautiful young man, a noble of the court, and other disguises. And night after night traveled to Suzuka Gozen's palace, but every time his solicitations were denied by the goddess.
Oh.
Frustrated by his inability to find Otakimaru's whereabouts, Tamamama prayed to the gods and the Buddhas to help him. And the Buddhas.
Help me.
To help him. That night, as he dozed off, he had a vision of an old man. To defeat Otakimaru, you must gain the help of Suzuka Gozen. The old man told him.
Not a hair story down that road.
Tamamama sent his army of 30,000 horsemen back to Kyoto and climbed the Suzuka Mountains by himself.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Deep in the mountains, he came upon a palace in which lived the most beautiful woman. She invited him inside, and he spent the night with her. The woman told to Mama, I come down from heaven to help you defeat the demon who haunts these mountains. I will capture him for you.
Oh, wow.
To Mama realized that this beautiful woman must be Suzuka Gozen. And I need a drink.
And who else could it be? But I swear to God, if you turn out to be a 9-tailed fox demon...
Don't look into the light.
Don't look into the light.
Frustrated by his inability to find Otakimaru's whereabouts... We just read that fucking paragraph. Suzuka Gozen led to Mama through the mountains to show him the Otakimaru's demon castle.
Look at this castle.
She instructed him that Otakimaru could be defeated while he possesses the Senmyon no Ken, or better known as Kenmyoren, Dakoyen, and Shotoren. 3 holy swords of great power.
Ah, the 3 holy swords of great power. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Fuck me. Then they traveled back to her palace, where she laid a trap for the Oni. That night, Otakimaru came to her again, disguised as usual as a handsome young man to ask for her love.
Check out my abs.
Ew.
Bruh.
I like to imagine that it's like that Hercules squeak doll. Squeak, squeak. Big pump up. Big pump up. Check out my squeak.
He's just standing in her yard, just flexing and oiling himself up. Oh, maybe I dropped something. He's got a boombox playing Peter Gabriel.
He's like, you got a carriage I gotta wash.
Yeah, it's a Daisy Dukes.
Yeah. I'm down.
Don't tell tomorrow, I'm here. Oops, I dropped my pen.
Suzuka goes and invited him inside and said, "A warrior named Mamamoo is coming here to kill me. Please lend me the Sanmyo no Ken so that I can defend myself, for I am helpless."
For I am helpless.
The Oni gave her Dioran and Shotoran to defend herself with, but kept the Kenmyo Tenri.
That sounded like the South Park.
Thank you.
Jibs.
But he kept the third one for himself. Cheapskate.
You can have two of my swords, but I don't trust you enough to give you the third one.
The following night, Otakamaru came once again to Suzuka Gozen's palace. Mama
Shark the monkey
was waiting for him there. Otakimaru revealed his true form to the shogun, transforming into a massive demon who stood over 10 meters tall, with eyes that shine like the sun and moon. A terrible combat ensued. Heaven and earth shook with the fury of their battles. Sorry, that was not meant to be plural. Otakimaru attacked Mamamoo with sword and spear, but the shogun was a holy warrior and was protected by the 1,000-armed cannon.
That's also what he would have been called if he had been hit with the sword and spear. He stabbed me 7 times. Well, now I truly am a holy warrior.
It was Bodhisattva of mercy and Bishamoten, the god of war, that protected him. Otakimaru split his body into thousands of Oni, who charged at Tumamamu. Tumamamu took his quivering a single holy arrow and fired it. The arrow split into 1,000, which turned to split into 10,000s more, and impaled all the Onis directly in their faces, killing them.
Damn, that's a lucky shot. I only have this one arrow that turns into 10,000 arrows.
Now I know where all the Final Fantasy shit came from. Just then, Otakimaru made a ferocious lunge at Tamamamu.
Lunge!
But the shogun was faster, and he swung his blade. Shoya.
Sahaya.
Something like that. At the Oni's head, lopping it off. Tamamamu brought the Oni's head back to Kyoto for the emperor to inspect.
Check it.
The emperor was so pleased with the shogun that he granted him the Iga province as a reward. Tamamamu returned to the Iga, married Suzuka Gozen, and the two of them lived happily together for many years.
Many years.
Until he died. She's a goddess. She ain't gonna die.
She's not gonna die. He's gonna die, though.
Otakimaru's reign of terror, however, was not over.
Uh-oh.
His spirit traveled to India for a time, and eventually returned to Japan and haunted the Kenmoriya, the one fucking sword that he didn't want to hand over to the bitch.
Oh, shit.
He was able to transform his body once again and became a Kaijin. Sorry. We talked about that. He rebuilt his impenetrable demon castle on the Mount Iwate in Mutsu province and once again began to terrorize Japan. Tamamamu and Suzuka Gozen traveled to Mutsu to meet their nemesis one more time and defeat him once and for all. While Otakimaru was away from his castle, Tamamamu snuck in through a secret back door that Suzuka Gozen had revealed to him at the Otakimaru's first demon castle.
Knock right in his back door.
When Otakimaru's returned, Tamamamu was waiting for him. They battled it out, and once again Tamamamu cut the Otakimaru's head clean off. The Oni's head flew up into the air and landed upon Tamamamu's head for a bit. And a bit. Oh, fuck. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, I got this. Okay, so the Oni's head flew up into the air and then landed upon Tamamamu's head and bit down hard. Fortunately, Tamamamu was wearing 2 helmets.
Who does that?
Fortunately, he's got 2 on.
I just imagine him being all cocky about it afterwards because he probably caught shit all day. You know you've got a helmet on your helmet, right? Yeah, I know.
You just wait.
You never know when you're going to need a second helmet. Like, why would you ever need a second? One helmet is enough.
My wife told me to wear a second one, okay?
Yeah. The second one doesn't protect you more. It's just on top of the first one.
I know, right? Though the demon's head bit off and swallowed the first one, Tamamaru was able to escape uninjured.
He wouldn't have even got your head. He just got the second helmet.
Takemaru's head was once more taken back to Kyoto, where it was locked safely away in the treasury of Byojin. Because of the time period and location in which the story takes place, and the fact that his chief enemy was the shogun Sakanu no Tamamaru, it was thought that the Otakimaru may be a folkloric interpretation of Ature, a chieftain of the Emishi people of the northeastern Japan who was waged a devastating campaign against the Yamato Japanese. His legend also serves as the basis for Nomorai's perfectionist famous Nebuta Matsure. Don't know what the fuck that is. In which large floats depicting warriors defeating Oni are paraded throughout the streets.
Oh, it's a parade.
I see.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yes. And those are the 3 terrible yokai.
Those are the 3 terrible yokai. That last one sounded like they attached a sequel to it. Like they wrapped up the story and then they were like, and now on to part 2.
That's all they
had. He came
had.
back from India with a vengeance.
What was he doing in India?
India stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
We got a vengeful ghost of Emperor Sutoku.
Let's talk about Emperor Sutoku, the vengeful ghost.
In central Heian government in Kyoto. I got a fucking itching leg. I'm sorry. I gotta lean back to itch it. God, okay. In Kyoto was beginning to fall apart by the 12th century. A succession dispute in 1156, known as the Hogen no Ran, turned into a fierce battle between the younger emperor Shikara Kawa. I had it earlier.
Shirakawa, there we go.
And his older brother, the retired emperor Sutoku. You remember that kitsune shit?
Oh, yeah, that's the dude from the kitsune.
Yeah. This ended badly for that dude, Sutoku.
Oh.
And he was banished and disgraced as a criminal to Sanuki, which is also known as Kagawa something prefecture.
Kagawa Prefecture?
On the island of Shikoku. While under house arrest in Sanuki, Shutoku applied himself to Buddhist study. He made offerings for the souls that had left or who had died in battle. He reflected on his life and prayed for his rebirth in the Buddhist Pure Land. And he spent months diligently writing out the 5 main Buddhist texts, or sutras.
So diligent.
Some accounts claim that these sutras were written in his blood. So dedicated was he to purifying his soul. Sutoku sent these painstakingly prepared sutras to Kyoto as an offering for a temple. First, though, they were presented at the imperial court. The suspicious Emperor Go-Shirakawa took one look at them and wondered aloud, "Has Sutoku sent us a curse?"
What the fuck? Is this blood?
Without even opening them, he had the sutras returned to Sotoku. The bland disrespect sent Sutoku into a rage. "If it is a curse you want, a curse you shall get." He gnawed his tongue, and with his blood he wrote the curse, "I shall become a mighty demon. I shall cause the emperor to be made low, and the lowly peasants to be exalted." Sorry. No, you didn't have to do any lines, babe. I got you. I'll figure out some.
You got some voices.
I may not remember them all, but whatever.
Whatever. I do what I want.
After this, Sotoku changed. He fell into a deep melancholy. His hair, his beard, and his nails went untrimmed, and he lived out his life in lonely exile, away from his beloved Kyoto. Yeah.
Drop a womp for Sotoku.
Many say he came to appear more like a goblin of the mountains than the once mighty emperor of Japan. Back in the capital, Emperor Go Shirakawa retired in 1158, but he continued to keep a tight grip of power throughout the reigns of the next 5 emperors, each of whom was one of his own sons or grandsons. In 1164, Sotoku died. As a final insult, Go Shirakawa paid no respects and held no funeral service for his older brother, the former Emperor Sutoku. No royal tomb was built for him in Kyoto, and he was banished even in death. The governor of Sanuke province sought Sotoku's funeral. 12 years after Sutoku's death.
12 years later.
Bad shit started happening in the capital. Bad shit.
Bad shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In 1176, Go Shirakawa was shaken by the sudden deaths of 4 of his closest allies in court. They had died one right after the other.
Uh-oh.
The following year, a powerful warrior monk of Mount Heiai raises their heads, threatening the authority of the emperor. A brazen plot to overthrow the influential Taira clan was exposed. And worse, a massive fire reduced 1/3 of the city of Kyoto to ashes.
Hot damn.
A prominent court noble recorded in his diary that all these events were surely the work of the disrespecting and banishing the ghost of Emperor Sutoku.
Don't banish my ghost.
And from that time on, the name Sutoku appeared often in the writings of the aristocracies in connection with any unfortunate event.
I had a wet stool this morning. Thanks, Sutoku.
My teeth fell in my oatmeal. Thanks, Sutoku.
Thanks, Sutoku.
At last, the fearful and superstitious nobles pressured Go Shirakawa to allow Buddhist memorial service to be held for the comfort of Sutoku's spirit. He acquiesced.
I acquiesce.
Yes, acquiesced. Thank you. A mausoleum was built for Sutoku at the site of Hogan no Ran battle. This was later incorporated into the Hirano Shrine, which stands in Kyoto today.
Ah.
While the nobles in Kyoto were enjoying their sophisticated culture, fine clothing, and poetry, the samurai in the countrysides were gradually gaining power. Wars were fought between rival clans, and in 1184, the vicious warlord Minamoto no he was a warlord, vicious warlord. Minamoto no Yoritomo.
Oh, yeah, Minamoto. I didn't even think about it. That's Minamoto. Oh, fuck.
This is a different dude.
Yeah.
This is Yoritomo.
Oh, yeah, that's Minamoto. That's the samurai.
Of what?
He was a famous samurai.
Another famous samurai?
But he was a historical figure. Like, he actually was a real guy.
Yeah, this is what they're...
Yeah.
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 He set up his shogunate in Kamakura.
Kamakura.
This marked the beginning of the feudal age and lasted until the mid-19th century. For nearly 700 years, the emperor was reduced to a mere figurehead. Cloistered in the palace of Kyoto, all power was held by the shogun. In the early 13th century, Go-Shirakawa's great-grandson, the retired Emperor Tsuchimikado, was banished to Shikoku Island. He made a point to visit Sutoku's grave to commiserate with his spirit and to comfort him by playing his lute.
Give me the loot! Give me the loot!
Like Sutoku before him, Tsuchimikado was troubled and lonely, far from the loved ones in Kyoto. That night, Sutoku appeared to Shuchimiyaku, whatever, in a dream, consoling him and promising him that he would look after and protect his family.
Protect my family!
Although Tsuchimikado's family lost power after his exile, about 20 years later, though, an unexpected turn of events. The baby that Tsuchimikado was forced to leave behind in Kyoto became the Emperor Go-Saga.
Ah, Go-Saga.
Sutoku's promise was remembered. In the 14th century, the powerful samurai Hosokawa Yoriyuki also paid a visit to Sutoku's grave on Shikoku and made offerings for his happiness in the afterlife. Then he prayed for Sutoku's guidance and he helped in conquering the island. He succeeded in subjugating Shikoku, and thereafter Sutoku became the guardian deity of the Hosokawa clan.
Oh, wow. Stepping up there, Shikoku.
In 1868,
Damn.
Emperor Meiji took the throne, ending the feudalism for long centuries of samurai rule. Power was restored to the emperor. The teenage emperor, not wanting any trouble from unappeased angry ghosts, sent an imperial envoy to Sanuki to bring the spirit of Sutoku to Kyoto. Back in his former capital, Sutoku was deified and enshrined at Shiramin Shrine.
Oh, that's nice of him.
On the 800th anniversary of Sutoku's death, just prior to the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, Emperor Hirohito sent emissaries to Sutoku's tomb in Kagawa Prefecture on the emperor's order that they honored Sutoku with imperial memorial service and prayed for the repose of his spirit. Like his grandfather, the Emperor Meiji, Hirohito wanted no trouble from an aggressive Sutoku. And the 1964 Olympics were a milestone in the post-war Japan, bringing the country to the world stage as a peaceful, progressive, and prosperous nation. Perhaps Sutoku's spirit was finally at peace.
Sounds like you just gotta be smart. Anytime you want to do something in Kyoto, it's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Hit up that ghost. We don't need him coming back all angry again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the last thing we need. Next thing you know, a rock's gonna break and let out a fox demon. Yeah. Hope you folks enjoyed. It's a fun little tales.
Sorry.
We definitely had fun looking it up. Again, Tamamo no Me, that was the fox demon that just broke out of the rock. Kitsune that just broke out of the rock. You can look up articles on that, Nine-Tailed Fox. Her story came from mythos.fandom.com. Shootin' Doji is another one, same website. Otakimaru, same website.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Vengeful Ghost of Emperor Sutoku by Diane Neal Tincher. Diane
Neal
Tincher.
And her website is Diane medium.com.
Medium.gap.
Don't know why she's a medium.
She's a medium. Do you think she's talked to Satuka before?
Probably. She's trying to fucking talk to him.
He hates it when people forget about him.
Yeah, he does. Look at all this shit he did.
Look at all this shit. Oh, yeah. Hope you folks enjoyed the episode. Had a good fun time with it.
Yeah.
Be sure to tune in next week for another exciting episode.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what it's going to be, but it'll be fun.
Either Spanish or Arabic.
Yeah.
I haven't decided yet.
We haven't decided yet.
But I got them going.
We got them. We got them going. Yeah. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, tweet, ring a bell.
Yeah.
All those good things.
Yeah, do the good things. Don't do the horrible things that he sometimes
Also do a horrible thing.
Terrible.
Don't do anything too horrible.
Yeah.
We don't condone the doing of anything too horrible.
No. Too horrible. We don't condone anything horrible.
But I mean, if you want to follow if you want to make your friend walk through the streets after shaving their head and ring a bell behind them and just say hi mythology instead of shame, that's on you.
I'm not going to stop it.
Bing, hi mythology.
Somebody fucking record that.
Bing, hi mythology.
And then tag us.
Shame.
We are not shameful. Don't give me that.
We have no shame here. There's no shame.
The shame left.
The shame left. There's no shame in the podcast
8 months
room.
Ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No shame.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.